guys always start like a little slow and everything, but we're gonna just be like right on it. Gunny has to do the clap.
I know. I was gonna say, action.
Action. Hi, I'm Mandy McCutcheon, and we are gonna do something a little different this week because Monica came up with the great idea that she felt maybe.
Hey, easy now. We came up with the great idea.
Hey, easy.
Yeah.
Great idea.
Great.
idea.
That we needed to defend ourselves because for the last couple of weeks we've been watching the boys talk about, the reasons they've had to sleep on the couch or what it's like to train horses for us or anything like that. So we thought we should tell you the other side of the story and a little bit more of the truth of it. And so I'm Mandy, I'm Tom's wife. We've been married for 21 years.
I'm Monica Matheson. I'm Gunny's wife. We've been married for 8 years.
I'm Andrea. I'm Miriam's husband. And we've been married for 11 years.
We had another guest that was supposed to be with us, but I couldn't for the life of me talk her into it. Joe Schmidt's wife, Megan, even had her Shrek cup and everything all ready for her, but we couldn't talk her into it, and I really wish we could have because she has some great stories, but
She bailed.
she decided to bail, and so now she might just have to take some heat for that.
Just a little, maybe.
Yeah. So why don't go ahead, Andrea. Tell us what you do. What's your part of the business?
So, I'm an attorney. I'm an European attorney. We moved in the United States, like you guys know, 8 years ago now. And the first job for Miriam in the United States was with Tom. And we were so grateful because from there everything starts for us and the great experience at Tom and then after I think a year and a half Miriam worked for Tom, then we moved she moved at Jordan, worked for Jordan, and everything starts over there. I'm an attorney. I was teaching civil law and family law in college in Italy. That sounds weird, but it's true. For 10 years. And then one day we start thinking about moving in the United States. It was something that we were talking about, debating about. We used to have horses here. We used some time to show it here. And the United States was always I'm Italian, I'm from Italy, but I'm a different one. So I never play soccer. I'm different, she said. I never play soccer.
Did you ride over there?
Yes.
And showed? Did you show over there?
Okay. Yeah, I show a lot. I started riding when I was 5, 6, and then, but I was always in love with everything that was American. I play football. American football. I went in college in San Diego for 1 year. My dream when I was a teenager was to move in the United States. And then when finally with my wife, we started thinking about moving in the United States, it was like kind of a dream come true. It was a little bit scary because, I wasn't a kid because when we moved here, I think I was 33, 34, 35. But it's a big step for everybody, and we have a lot of friends that from Europe and from South America, they move in the United States, and after 2 or 3 years, we're lucky. I think that in the reining industry and in our association, it's really a big family. So they really welcome everybody. So, but you don't know before. So to jump in this adventure for us was kind of something else. But I think it worked out great. We're super happy to be here. We met unbelievable people, bad people like everybody. This is my short story.
So 2 things I remember from when you came.
Yeah.
And spent some time with us.
Yeah.
The first one was the first horse show we went to with you guys. Miriam showed a fraternity horse for us. So, and the backstory to that is Tom and Miriam. Tom knew Miriam.
There was stalls.
Yeah. Tom knew Miriam before from
Yeah.
Italy and her
Yeah.
father and the family and everything from when he was there.
Yeah.
So she was Miriam Girodini to him.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's a funny
we go to
story.
the first show, and Miriam is winning the level 1 of the one fraternity, and Andre's telling Tom, she's winning, and Tom's like, no, somebody named Stilo is winning. And he's like, I am Stilo. So from then on, every time I see him,
I am
Stilo.
Stilo. That
Tom
did
was
catch
like,
on.
Oh yeah, that's typical of Tom. Like names
Fair enough.
and
Yeah, that
who
doesn't
you
go
are
well.
is generally doesn't.
I think that
stick
was
with
touched
him.
in one of the shows. The barn
Yeah.
help didn't get a name for at least
That's
30
Joe.
days.
That's Joe. He's the worst. Like, and I've talked with other wives about these things. Like, we can be walking up to a person, and we see him coming, and without even like an elbow or nod, I go, "That's such and such. We had a horse for them at this time. This is her name. That's her husband. That's it." And he doesn't break stride. Just walks right up. Hey, how's it going? Good to see you. Like he knew the whole time. And I noticed that with a couple of other spouses of trainers that
Yeah.
we've gone down that road. The other one was definitely not a funny story. It was bad, but Miriam was there when Tom Cinch broke,
Yeah.
and he broke all his ribs and his
Yeah.
collarbone, and I wasn't there.
Yeah, she was the first that
Yeah.
she got there, and she called me. She was terrified.
Yeah,
But thank God was.
yeah, he was fine, and
Yeah.
he got up from it, and he explained to all of us, well, not me because I wasn't there, but to my secretary, to
Mhm.
Miriam, just pull the truck around. I'm going to drive myself to the ER. So the secretary calls me, and she wasn't really good under pressure, and she's like all upset. Tom wants to drive himself to the ER. His Latigo broke, whatever. I'm like, no, put him in the truck. I'll meet you at the ER, but
Yeah.
do not let him drive that truck. So then the secretary goes back to Tom crying. If you don't let me drive you to the hospital, I'm gonna get fired. Andy said I was fired if I let you drive. And it turned out there was no way he could have drove himself to the hospital because he was white as a ghost. 7, 8 broken ribs, broken collarbone.
Collarbone.
Yeah, but those are the two of the main things I remember. The first one being funny that Tom was just sure she wasn't winning,
Yeah.
and
It's
so,
funny how we learn to go around in roundabout ways like that.
Yeah,
I got a little story. Do you remember when Gunny kind of went on his own in the beginning? So Gunny worked for Tom and Mandy for, how long did he work for you?
well, five,
5, 6 years,
something
yeah.
like that, yeah.
So quite a bit. And, we obviously, Mandy and I are very close, and, I got to meet Gunny through that. And so one of the things is, you get that, and I don't know if you guys get it, but I don't know, like I can say something to him, and they get frustrated, but you could say the same thing, and then
It's okay.
it's okay. So I used to look at it and I go, So to avoid a confrontation, or to avoid a little bit, I'd,
It's terrible.
Mandy, where are you? Tell Gunny that doesn't look too good. So this went on for quite a little bit. Yeah, no, a couple of horse shows. I mean, she'd call him and, oh, okay. And then I'd see him try to fix, turn around, or maybe slow his hands down, or whatever, he needed to do maybe. Till finally, a couple shows into it, she isn't even here. Oops.
He caught on to that.
Yeah.
He didn't always notice if I was or wasn't in the arena, but finally he did catch on.
He
to
caught
that.
on
I
a little
wasn't
bit
even at
after that.
horse
So
show.
yeah, that kind
That's
of,
where we lost.
so we lost it a little after that.
A
So,
little bit,
but yeah,
we
we
lost
kind of learned to go like a roundabout areas, try to kind of hang with each other and
Oh,
take
yeah.
care of each other.
And Megan not being here, I can throw her right under the bus. She does that occasionally too. When Joe's getting, I don't notice it. We don't see it. You don't see a lot of things when you're not married to somebody. But apparently Joe gets a little different. Week or so out from the horse show.
No.
Gets a little, things are a little bit more frustrating. Everything, not just the riding, but everything is he's a little bit more on edge. And so, Megan brings that to my attention occasionally. So I make sure and razz him about it. And if you've spent a minute in our arena at any time, you know that no matter what happens, somebody is going to see it, especially if it's bad, especially if you fly out of the saddle this high. Joe, 90% of the time, Joe's going to have a video or a picture of it that he's going to share with everyone.
A lot of people.
Yeah, with everyone. So there's part of the reason I think you can leave our place and go to a horse show and not worry about the pressure is because you have to survive the pressure
You
every
pressure
day.
every day.
Yeah, every day. So
Yeah, and you don't even have to actually be there to have to survive the pressure. I mean, I can actually attest to that. I mean, we have started this thing now where I mean, even when we come over here for movies and sometimes, I mean, we sometimes set a timer to see how long it takes, and we call it now how long it takes to get McCutcheoned. Like how long it takes for one of us to, you're a dumb shit, or why, what are you thinking, or really, why did you do that? So, you know, sometimes it's, you know, I think the record is a little over an hour until that has happened, but it usually,
It's not bad then.
well, yeah, it's not too
Yeah,
bad,
no.
but usually it's within 10 minutes for sure.
Yeah.
But you can also get Matheson. You can get Matheson.
very
He's as bad.
rarely.
No. No, not very rarely. You know, he throws me under the bus all the time about the one time he had to get my fraternity horse ready.
Yeah, why do they pick on you for
The
that?
thing is, like, maybe he should have done a little better job. Why just put it on me? Right?
All of them kind of
Like,
put it on you. I mean,
had-
Dwayne kind of laid it on you
all
too.
of them,
He
they
wouldn't
all
even.
put it on me.
Yeah.
I had 2 hands in a snaffle and I almost went out the gate.
Oh.
I didn't train her. How
The
could
whole
that be my
point
fault?
is that we're not trained those
Exactly.
horses.
That's
We
why we're
are
called non-pros, right?
Showing the horses.
Yeah.
So we're trying to achieve what they're doing every day.
Yeah.
And they try to do our best every time. But sometimes it's not working. And sometimes it's our fault. But
But
sometimes.
mostly not. Mostly, I think.
Yeah, I don't.
And you say
Yeah.
we're trying to do our best all the time. My family will accuse me of
Yeah.
maybe not trying to do my best every day all the time.
Oh,
And-
yeah, that's the accuse that I
And I
have
don't-
every day that I'm riding
Yeah, I don't
at the
feel
end
that
of
way.
my section.
Yeah.
You can do better than this. After all those years, you can do better than this.
And I mean, the thing is, of all of us, I would have to say that you probably have it the hardest because Tom doesn't say much. You know, if the horse isn't right, something doesn't go right, at this point, I get off, he rides the horse. We've kind of got a system now. We don't argue about
Well,
it.
Gunny just sends me away.
Yeah, Gunny sends her to Barbara Williams.
To Barbara or to
somebody else
Debbie
help
or
her,
to. Yeah.
and he just throws his hands up.
You know,
But you
for
have
me-
to answer to an Italian.
You know, I mean.
And a female
half-
Italian.
Half German.
Ooh,
Oh.
Half German.
she's serious.
She's half German and half Italian, and I can tell you that sometimes it's a 75 German and the rest is Italian. And we go with waves. I mean, like there get period where we ride together. Like she tell me things, and we're not arguing, and we're fine.
And there's sweet music playing in the background, like on
yeah,
the movie.
exactly. When yeah.
Riding off into the sunset.
Yeah, exactly. Now she's in Frank Sinatra's music thing. So in the morning, Nathan like country, but then we swap and it's good because you know it's a groove music. It's
Yeah.
cool. But then there are waves that are not good, and I'm on that wave right now. So
That was rough.
so yesterday we just had one of those arguments where you know you try to do something, but I mean it's not working every time, you know. And with young horses, it's tougher for us, you know, because when you ride in a 5 and a 6-year-old, probably you really put. I mean, I try to be perfect. We're not never perfect, but because she'll gonna tell me, she's a 6-year-old, really, you know. But with the 3-year-old, it's a completely different movie,
Yeah,
you know.
completely different.
And I was lucky enough to have a very good 3-year-old last year and did well. But now it looks like you need to
Always do that.
yeah,
Okay.
and I mean, you know, sometimes with a 3-year-old, you guys know better than me. It's not working on a
Yeah.
daily basis. So. But I try to. I never. Sometimes happened to me that I said, you know what, I'm gonna go ride with Billy. I'm gonna go ride with Tom, with somebody else because I think I need a little bit of space. But then I don't know why it's never happened.
No. Well, because
I-
no one's going to care more than she does about how you do. And that's the
Yeah,
thing that
yeah.
the bottom line is they care the most, so they get the
Yeah,
most
no,
frustrated
that's
for
true.
us. But I mean,
That's true, but it's not easy, and we don't have kids, so
Yeah.
I think that it's difficult too. And I remember when Miriam was working for Tom. Sometimes she was helping Carly and riding with Cade
Yeah.
a little bit because a certain stage
Yeah.
it's not easy to help your husband. I think it's not easy to help your kid because they're looking at you in a different way. I look at Miriam, yeah, as my trainer, but she's my wife.
You should
So
try and
I
help
thi-
your kid after he's won the Run for a Million and the Rain and Fraternity.
Well, yeah,
Can you imagine
well,
how
yeah.
dumb you get after that? Like,
yeah.
it's a wonder, like, I can even get on the horse and get to the arena. That's.
But I'm at the
Yeah,
point.
you
with-
should have maybe just lunged that one. I think I heard that the other day.
Yeah.
Mom, just lunge that one maybe.
Yeah.
You don't
I'm
need
at
to
the
ride
point
it.
now that I look at Miriam when she's riding in the warm-up arena, and I don't say a word until she asks me
Yeah.
something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I think it's the best way, because we know them as a trainer, as a showman and
Yeah.
showwoman, but we know them as a person. So I know that sometimes when she gets frustrated because something is not working, there are some little, she get touchy.
Some
and-
buttons you don't want to push.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
think they all have that.
Yeah.
So I try, and Tom will beg to differ for sure, that I intentionally push the buttons he thinks, but I do the same. The worst is now, we've been doing this long enough that if I'm standing there, and apparently Monica says I do this more than just when I'm with Tom, or the look on my face kind of tells, and then he stops and he's
What's
like,
happening?
what?
Yeah.
What's wrong now? I'm like, nothing. I'm just standing here watching. No, you're not. I can tell by the look on your face, you don't like what I'm doing or you don't like this. Just tell me. Just tell me it's fine. I'm like, I don't want to tell you because
Well, should we bring up your nickname from Tom?
he's telling everybody and I don't think it's right. He's told them. And I don't think it's really fair. I really feel like
So
I'm a,
I mean, Andre. So Tom calls her the Dream Crusher.
Okay.
because one time it was like
That's
February and he
fascinating.
was riding a 3-year-old and I said
Yeah.
something about it, what it was
Yeah.
doing, and he was like, really? It's February. You're gonna kill all my hopes and dreams for the rest of the year right now?
The other day I told Miriam, you kill my confidence like that. You completely are killing my confidence. And she said, no, I try to build up your confidence. Well, it's not working.
I don't think you guys are understanding.
In this very moment, it's not working. So we can try in a different way, maybe. because
Time out?
It's not working like that. My confidence is really.
I think that might be a
Yeah,
that happens
But
with me
no,
too. Don't feel alone.
But what I really like, speaking about relationship between trainers' wives and trainers' husband, is that they really, and probably because all of us are in the horses, because if you married a trainer, most of the time you
Have
get
some sort of horse background.
yeah, exactly. So
I feel sorry for the ones that don't. I
E-
mean, imagine
exactly.
coming into this world
No, exactly.
with nothing. You'd
Exactly.
just be like, are
But
you
I
kidding me?
really like that they respect they want to know
Yeah.
what we think.
Yeah.
I mean, what I see is that Miriam really wants me
Yeah.
to, and I really like this because at the end of the day, you can be a professional or you can choose to be a non-professional, but your experience with the horses and the horsemanship in general is there. No matter if your NRHA card says that you are non-professional or you are professional. And the fact that Tom look at you and Gani when we are the night before the final wants you over there because you
Yeah,
need to be
yeah.
there. That's I think it's I really like that because it's respect
Yeah.
and then they really appreciate I think all the hours that
And I think you'll find that a lot within our industry. I mean, I
Yeah.
think
Oh,
you'll
yeah.
find
Oh, no,
if
yeah.
we've talked to a lot of
Oh,
people,
yeah.
Martin and Kim Mulesetter, Tish and
Oh,
Andrea.
yeah.
I mean, I think
Yeah.
if you talk to a lot of the wives and the trainers, I think we know this can be a really good industry, really fun industry.
Yeah.
It introduces us to a lot of places, people, stuff we would never have the opportunity to do. I know for one, it's taken me to people with your family, World Equestrian Games, meeting
Yeah.
people overseas, the quality of the horses that we've been able to be around has just excelled over the last 10 years.
The hours on the ends of the lunge lines you've got to spend with me, isn't that fun? That would
Okay,
make
well,
those
that's a
100
whole
riding-
nother story. So yeah.
So fun. I was
Yeah.
thinking about bringing you to Arizona just to help you
Oh,
get one ready.
great! Thanks. Yeah. So how I came down to I don't know if you know or if many people know, but I dated a trainer from up north for a while, and that's how I met Mandy and her family. Ironically, we're both from Minnesota.
And she dated Brian Wellman, and he worked for my parents when we lived in Minnesota for like 9 or 10 years, for a long time. So Brian's like my older brother. He lived in the house with us, all that. And he's pretty funny. And so we had a relationship already, and then he started dating her, who's significantly younger than him. So of course I'm the little sister that was just like, she's too young for you. What are you doing? Giving him all the grief. All
Yeah,
the
I think the
stuff.
first thing she said to me at one of the first shows I went is she walked up and said, "How old are you?"
And I'm significantly younger
Really?
than her already, so I was younger than her, and I just walked right up there
Yeah.
and said that to her.
But we
So-
became very good friends very quickly. And and she called me one day and needed help at a hunter show. They go to California. And so they needed some help doing that. And she said, "Hey, could you help us drive the rig out there?" "Yeah, no problem. Hey, could you?" And I used to do the pleasure horses, and before I got into the reining a bunch with Brian, and so did the body clipping, did the banding, did the braiding, did all that, the lunging, all that stuff. So
And lucky for her, at that time I had a hunter that I won a lot on, but he was not the quietest animal on earth. He took a lot of work. It took a whole team of us to get him to the ring.
yeah, and I had never been to that caliber of a hunter jumper show before. So for me to go, I said, "Yeah." Well, that turned into, "Well, why don't you come a couple weeks early, because you can help us pack and you can help us get ready
Wasn't
to
that nice of me?
help us get ready, and you can help us body clip, and you can." Oh yeah, so
I'm so nice. I
it's
mean,
so
she was
nice.
stuck up there in Minnesota. She was heartbroken. She was sad. She broke up with her boyfriend.
Oh, here we
She needed
go.
something, right, to get her mind off of that, what she
Oh,
was
it
going through.
did.
So I just thought it would be so nice of me to
So
get her out
nice.
of there and give, something else on her mind.
Uh-huh. So yeah, it turned into long lasting. I think when we went to California, I'd say, "Mandy, where's that cinch?" And she'd yell, "It's a girth." Okay, well, whatever that thing is that goes there.
That thing that goes
Yeah,
underneath.
that thing. But after a couple weeks I spent out there in California with them, it was very fun. Met a lot of people. I have total respect for the jumpers in the hunters, an industry that I'd never gotten into. But just walking the course, seeing some of those jumps.
She was mad at me because I didn't tell her to pack the right pants. Because she only had Rocky Mountains at the time. And
Yeah,
nobody
who
wore
goes
them.
to-
Yeah.
Yeah, who
Everybody
goes?
just wore like regular everyday jeans,
Yeah.
Levi's, whatever. She was like, really?
You didn't even tell me how to dress. I thought we were going to a regular horse show.
I remember.
Here comes the little Western girl hanging out at the English show. I mean,
Yeah.
but I soon got lots of friends there, and it was very fun. And yes, that hunter was a lot of work. I spent a lot of hours on the lunge line. And so let me tell you one little story.
There was no blood.
Yeah, there was.
No blood.
This one's kind of a little bit of a savage. Obviously she has to be a little tough to, the McCutcheons, Tom, Kay, yeah. So she's got to have a little bit of thick skin to her, I'm
Yeah.
sure. But I was clipping this thing, and jumped on my foot. I mean, we've all had one step on your foot, but
Yeah.
it wasn't just a step. It was a jump. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the throbbing, and she comes on, "What happened to you?
She's hobbling around and stuff.
What's wrong with you?" And I said, "Well, let me see it." So I take I don't think I can look at
Yeah,
it.
you
I
don't
don't
wanna
think
know.
it.
You
No,
don't
I don't
wanna-
even
what
want to know. Are
happened?
my toes still attached? There's not even any blood. You're fine. Seriously? Yeah, go lunge. On my class, I'm up in like 10 more.
We don't have time for this.
Oh.
If there's blood, okay, fine. Sit with your foot up. It just swelled a little bit. It wasn't bad.
And then the kid
The
thing,
rule
like,
book says if there's
No
no
blood.
blood,
You're
oh, well,
fine.
apparently I got the rule book.
I'm sorry.
And then like
you read the rule book.
No, I didn't. And then, like you said, the parents trying to help the kids. Whoa, Mama McQuay is out there. I'd hold the jump, put the jump up. Okay, put the jump up 2 holes, put the jump down 2 holes, spread the oxer out. Okay, I got all this now. I'm getting pretty good at this. Well, then these two would start at it. "Mandy, you didn't add a stride there. Mandy, what are you doing?" I mean, so I'd just sit on the jump and I'd wait.
My mom and I are both a lot alike. We like things done a certain way, and it's our way. So
Yeah.
it's kind of how it gets a little tricky when we both want that done a certain way, and it's our way.
And the
I
parent
think-
helping the kid, like you said, it gets a little tricky, I think, so.
But okay, so how about this? In all your years of your husband's wives helping
Mhm.
you, did any of them ever say to you, "It would help if you would get a little feel in your ass"?
A little
A little feel in your ass.
yeah.
Yeah. My husband, at the start of our marriage, he wasn't getting horses ready for a lot of non-pros. A couple here and there, Judita, whatever.
Yeah.
But, I grew up with Tim.
Yeah.
I have a certain way the horses have to be for me to ride them.
Yeah.
If they're not that way,
Yeah.
then I'm unhappy. Putting it nicely, is unhappy.
Well,
right?
it's hard because, like I got the trickle-down effect from that because I saddled for Tim. I helped Tim.
Yeah.
I'd bring Tim the horses. Tim's horses were very
Tim
broke.
doesn't do it like that.
Tim doesn't do it like that.
Yeah.
Why don't you just do it Tim's way then?
Okay.
Okay.
So, and we also didn't probably have as good of horses. Well, for sure, we didn't have as good of horses then
Then.
as we do now. We were
Yeah.
kind of starting out on our own thing with horses, and so some of them were a little bit, I had to take the tie down off at the gate to go in the ring on one, but Ruben Van Dorp happened to be over when we were still over at Cardinal, and he witnessed. We used to have a difference of opinion a lot when we
Yeah.
were riding. Now, like I said, we've kind of figured it out. This isn't working here, you go fix it, and we don't butt heads about it. But at that time, it was a little bit harder, maybe you could say. And he did say to me one time, "Well, if you would just get a little more feel in your ass, I think this would go better." And to this day, Ruben has not forgot it and thought it was the funniest thing he's ever seen. I didn't see any humor in it.
No, not really.
No, not at all.
Not really.
Two,
What?
maybe three times there was things he said like that to me. So they ended up in tie the reins to the fence, go home.
Yeah.
You can ride her, it's fine. I don't need to ride
I
her.
know. No, I happened
Yeah.
last week, but
Last week.
but
He helped her one time. She had an on-pro horse with Tom when she, in the beginning of us moving down here too, and he trained and got ready for her. And he had a little faulty maybe spot in the one turn where if you put a little too much pressure on him, he would.
A little too much pressure. I'm little. I don't think I put that much pressure. I think it was, I just laid my rein there and we ended up over there.
And Tom, in typical Tom fashion, as all of us could probably see, is like this. Whoopsie, you better come back over here and try that
Yeah,
again.
that's exactly what he said. Whoopsies. Come back and just try that again. No, I don't want to try that again. You try it.
Back was because you were far away.
yeah.
Like the jump.
Yeah.
was-
Oh, yeah. Like, no, I was done. It was not just one jump. It was
Okay, it was
several
several.
jumps before I got
Hang
stopped.
on. He just was going, and then she hung on. When he stopped, she was like, eyes this big. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me right
I'm
now?
not trying that again. Are you out of your mind? No, I'm not trying that. Here, how about you try it?
So that was one of, 3 times. One other time he was, I don't think we were married yet, and I was riding one, and he was like, "Stop doing this and stop messing with him. Just lope him." Okay. About the third time when I can't even just lope him around right. Stop, time the fence. You know what? You just ride him. He gets on and he starts riding him, and the ring out of the saddle fell out. What? There he laid. I was like, I'm pretty sure they call that karma. Not
Yeah, but-
pretty sure that's what they call
Well,
that.
sometimes Miriam start not complaining, but I start trotting and warm up the horse. So I'm not starting doing nothing.
But I can see how you could do that wrong.
And if I jog, she said, you should better have long trot because she needs to. And then I long trot. Now jog a little bit because sometimes you feel. I think that, like you said, of course, they try to help us.
Yeah,
You
for
know,
sure,
and they
for
really
sure.
care about us, and they're on top of us so much that you need really to keep the pressure. And I feel all those kids that work for Tom for years, and they work for Gani, and now they work for Miriam, because when you have somebody on your back and you start jogging your horse and it's already wrong, you need to deal with this. psychologically with yourself. I mean, you need to really be.
Interrupt.
Yeah, I tried. I mean, I'm not doing. It's not. So sometimes.
That's a good way to put it. Psychologically dealing with this with myself.
I deal with myself in a way that every day I can learn something. Just not just riding with me and just be at the show and watching people, right? But having this presence on your shoulder sometimes it's get heavy.
It's stressful.
It's stressful
Yeah.
because sometimes, and this is the mistake I think that most of the, not most of the non-pro, but can happen a lot to the non-pros. You can go at one show and you can be good. Okay, you go back, you're driving. The moment that you're driving back home from the horse show, it's important. Because he puts some statement on yourself like, I'm so proud, I have my bronze here, I'm a champion. But then after a couple of days, you're riding home the same horse and you start having trouble because those are horses, maybe are young or maybe you were lucky that day. And then, so all the castle that you build around yourself and she can make your castle fell down. She don't need to talk to
Oh
me.
no, because she's got some looks.
Oh, she's got
some looks that
Yeah.
are very.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're strong.
They're strong.
They're very strong looks.
Very strong.
Very strong.
Yeah.
But like we said before, their goal is for us to do the best, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
it's more pressure on them when we
Yeah.
show than when somebody else shows, and
Yeah.
it's only because they want the best from us. It's not.
And I think we feel the same way. When
Oh,
they go
for sure.
show, I think we
100%.
get, it's hard to watch them show, and it's hard to watch
And
them.
sometimes we double.
When Gunny shows, sometimes she yells at me.
I do.
Sometimes we double the stress because
Oh, yeah, for
sometimes we are the owner of the horse, and we have our partner showing that horse.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
less stress for me. When they're
Yeah.
showing, when the guys are showing other people's horses, I feel more stressed because
Oh,
I
well, the
worry about
customer- yeah,
them
yeah.
and how nervous they are because they want to do
They
for
wanna
that
do-
customer, and that's what gets to me more than anytime I ever show and I
Yeah.
do good or bad. Obviously, I'm always very happy if I do good, but
Yeah.
to me it bothers me more if I know how much work they've put into a horse and how much time and how many hours and how much they want to do good for that client, and that stresses me out
Oh, yeah.
1,000 times more than if
Then
I
when
had
you
to walk
show.
in the rain.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
too.
the
Well, and
only
I-
time that I could say I was ever so nervous I couldn't feel my feet was walking in the pen in Normandy
Yeah.
when I got Andrea and Jordan standing there
Yeah.
like with their arms crossed, totally stone-faced, serious,
Waiting for you.
telling me it's fine.
Yeah.
Especially Andrea, Andrea, it's serious. It's fine. It's just another non-pro final. And he marches off. And I know Andrea's not. He's just. That's just him.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
trying. He was being supportive.
Yeah,
He wasn't being
yeah.
anything but supportive.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, it would be just best if you two would go sit down because
Yeah.
you're not helping.
Yeah.
I can't feel my feet. I can't feel my fingers. That could be a problem when I walk in the ring. And that showing on that team for. Because to me, I'm showing for Andrea, Sean, and Craig, and the USA. Oh my Lord. I have
Yeah.
never been so nervous in my life. By the time we got to the individual round, I was like, phew. I was nervous, but nothing like that. I was freaking out. And the Bernard had a good run. That team was right there with us,
Yeah.
neck and neck. I didn't want to be that person that left it on Sean, which obviously no problem for Sean, but I didn't want to be that person that left it on him.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I've never been so nervous.
You
in
don't
my
think
life.
they represent your country in our sports?
Oh.
It's one of the. I mean, we experienced this with the Italian team at
Yeah.
the last World Equestrian Games. Miriam was in the team, and we're not going to talk here about FEI and everything else, but just represent your country.
Mm-hmm.
I think for any rider is something that you're never gonna.
Yeah.
I mean,
No.
I
it
wish
just-
more
it-
people could experience.
Yeah, exactly.
and-
I was there and
Yeah.
I, experienced the situation actually from outside, but it's something.
But from the inside too.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
from
we
the
were-
inside too.
yeah.
But I really, I want to say I really enjoy it because yes, the pressure I can tell Miriam
I've
was
never-
riding Ruff's book, that's also Morse, but the pressure is super high, but not just for the performance himself, but for the meaning of everything around you, you know, the fact that you represent your country. I think it's something that makes you so proud that you want to really do the best of the best that you can do.
Yeah, I don't think a video or photos or it can justify the
Yeah.
feeling of when you
Yeah.
actually get to experience
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, for sure.
To go. I mean, it's unlike anything else that I've ever been to and experienced as being on
Yeah.
that team, a part of a team thing like that.
For sure. But back to our spouses.
Yeah.
It's for sure. I'm gonna guess they feel the same way when we walk in the ring. That we feel when they walk in the ring that there's nothing
Oh,
they can
I'm-
do.
yeah,
now.
I know
They
it
want
is,
everything
'cause-
to work well, and there's
Yeah,
nothing.
because
they can
Gunny
do
said
now.
he gets very
Yeah.
nervous and he's like, I'd rather show myself.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, for sure. I think that they feel the same way we do.
Yeah, for sure. I think so. So, what do you think when it's time to get ready to go to the horse show? What part does Miriam or Gunny play in that for you guys?
Or what part are we playing for them?
Well, either way, both way, yeah, both ways.
Yeah. Well, you know, you try. What I'm trying to do, I try to leave Miriam alone as soon. I mean, like, I try to have Miriam thinking just about the horses. That I think is the most important part. Thank God we have some. Miriam, she has an assistant trainer that she's great, and she has another helper. So they really take care of everything, packing and stuff. Because I mean, go to the horse show, especially to the big horse show. Okay, when you like the week or the 2 weeks before the Derby and the Futurity, you know, are really stressful because you have so much in your mind. I think from the performance that you need to go there and perform for all your non-pros that they need to perform. For you know, start with packing the trailer and everything that we're moving houses there. I mean,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
So you know, so I just try to help, like try to organize
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
from behind the scene, and because at the end of the day, the trainer needs to train the horses and try to get the best from their job, and I just to have Miriam just with her mind just dedicated to the training part. But you know, sometimes they get frustrated in the process, and that's probably
It's funny how the first horse of the day can dictate how the rest of the
Yeah.
day is going to be. You know,
Yeah.
the first horse ride good,
Yeah.
then it makes the mood a little better for the
Yeah.
day, especially when you get closer to the horse show.
yeah.
That tightening up of we don't have as many days to fix this
Yeah.
plays in. But I'm similar at our place. You know, we're so lucky like you to have such a great staff that when it comes to the load and the trailers and doing all that, we have a crew that pretty much has it down to clockwork. I have to organize the hotels, the
Yeah.
loading, the trailer list, making sure we have all the supplies we have, things like that. That, you know, if it was up to Tom, we'd still be in barn 9 with
With Gunny.
with Gunny and
Yeah.
a porta-stall
But,
bridle
but
rack.
that's the
and-
same for
Yeah,
me. You
Daddy
know,
doesn't.
I try to. I mean, we learn so much, and I think she learned so much from all the experience that she made with Tom, Jordan, and then because you really need to learn how to manage everything. But at the end of the day, you have to have a team behind you that really push you and help you from behind, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
It's really important, I think, for a trainer, and I can see that so clear at every horse show. You can tell a trainer that is, you know, he has a strong team behind, and some guys that probably they don't have enough number, and they really need to take care about everything. It's a lot. It's
That's
a lot.
something that Tom tells Kate all the time. Don't
Yeah.
think you can ever do this by yourself.
Yeah.
To his credit, which he is very good about giving me props for stuff like that, but he's like, there's no way I could do what I do without a partner that's devoted to it as much as I am. I mean,
Yeah,
it's too
exactly.
hard, it's too big, it's too hard, it takes too much.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons I really wish Megan would have been here, because not a lot of people know Megan. They know Joe, you know, the funny guy that shows up at the horse shows and does a great job and shows.
But
and-
Megan is behind the
But
scene.
nobody knows
Megan
Megan. Not a
is
lot of
the-
people know Megan, and they
Yeah.
don't know how. I mean, she'll saddle for him all day. She does all the book work. She cuts the grass at home. She organizes everything, pays all the bills. I mean,
Takes care of the
I'm
dogs.
Megan.
takes care of the
I'm
dog.
Megan. I feel like Megan then.
She does everything, and like, I'll ask Joe, do you want me to get a house for you and Kate at this horse show or that horse show?
Megan?
I don't know. I gotta ask Megan. I hate when you ask me these questions. It's too much pressure. I'm like, okay, how many horses are you taking to the show? I gotta ask Megan. I gotta talk to Megan. And Megan's like, you ride the horses. You decide how many horses go to the show. I'll order the stalls. But she
that's
does
the point,
everything
man.
for him,
See,
and I.
They decide because they ride the horses. But they're losing. I mean, they don't organize stuff because, especially, you know, in the barn with numbers like Tim was or Tom is now, you know, with that kind of a number, you have to have a team. You have to have a person that you trust 200%.
I can say even without those numbers, you
Yeah.
have to have
No,
the
no, no.
same thing.
No, absolutely. No, absolutely.
Definitely have to have the same
But
thing. We
I
might not take
imagine-
30 to the horse show. We
Yeah,
might take 6 or
exactly.
8.
Yeah, it's
But-
just, no, actually, with 6 or
It's
yeah,
the
Yeah,
it's
it's
the
the
same.
bigger number.
absolute
It's
same.
just a bigger number, and
For sure.
your team is bigger, and I mean, but at the end of the day, it's people.
effort.
It's a team effort.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do. I mean, sometimes I feel like I wish I was there more for Gunny. My business has grown so much in the last few years. I'm very appreciative of that, but I wish I struggle a little bit with the fact of I wish that I was able to help more and saddle more and do some of that stuff. But
Well, and you love that part too. You love
I
the
do. I love-
Doctoring the horses, being around the
Yeah.
horses.
I could. That's my favorite.
But that was
part.
my point when we moved in the United States. I was ready to do the bar exam, and we talked about this.
Yeah.
And but a certain point, I said, you know, for 15 years I did this in Europe, and then now I want to really help my wife a little bit more and enjoy what I really like to do, and I really love to ride and be around horses more. So
Yeah, I
What
get.
was super fun was the one I had Dwayne and Tom.
Yeah.
And Tom was pretty good because, you know, like what I really think is fun is when there's an entry deadline. Which 3 are you going to show? Well, I'm not sure yet. Do you want me just to put that on the entry blank? Not sure yet. Dwayne was the worst. He was probably
they don't get that there are due dates
Yeah,
and deadlines.
yeah.
I mean, like there are deadlines.
Like-
Tomorrow is the deadline for the stall
Yeah.
at the Derby, and like
is this horse? Are these horses going?
yes
Well, I'm not
or
sure yet.
no.
I don't know.
Yeah, I
Yes
don't
or
know.
no.
Okay, well.
And inevitably, it's going to change.
Yes.
I mean, we sent the stuff in, but
Yes.
4 days from now, I think I'm going to bring this one, or I think this one's going to. Oh, I'm not going to show this one, or I'm not going to do it. It changes all the time.
Sometimes I just get to the point where I watch them ride the horses, and I'm like, okay, they're gonna show that one, and that one. I'm gonna put that on the entry blank, and I'll enter the other one in somebody else's name if we have to.
But
switch
I
it
think
back.
I got broke into that helping your dad
Yeah.
because, like you said, the numbers were so big. So before I even got married and got to that where maybe that would drive me nuts, or I want to pull my hair out, or that's frustrating to me, I just helped him. So
yeah.
I mean, we had a list of 25, 30 horses and clip them, bathe them, do all this, put their wraps out, do all this. We're leaving at this time, and inevitably that night, well, take these 3 off the list. These 3 are going now, and
Yeah.
take this one. And oh, we're decided to take 2 more. Well, we don't have enough slots in the trailer. Well, we'll find some. Just get them clipped and ready to go. Okay.
Now my girls in the office have gotten where at a certain time of the year, all the 3-year-olds get a Coggins because just like she said, at the last minute, we're gonna leave this 3-year-old home from the NRBC and take that one. But why is that a big deal? Oh my God, are you kidding me? Well, there's things that there's
Yeah.
a trickle down effect that they don't. And poor Kate, in his defense, you know, he's always had me take care of that. And I'm like, which 3-year-olds are you taking? This one, this one, this one, this one. Okay. The next week it's this one, this one. I'm like, so yeah, we've gotten where we get health and Coggins on everything, and we'll
Yeah.
just pick a couple out of
Yeah.
the batch and go.
Go.
And I think we learn, like we said, to go around stuff and make it work. But
Roll
yeah,
the punches for sure.
I'm fortunate enough to have, Gunny has very good help too. I mean, that he has right now, or it would be harder, I think, too, because they organize the trailer. Hava, she's so organized and so good at keeping stuff together. So, I mean, it's, like you said, a team effort.
It
and
is a
I really
team effort.
appreciate
Well, we have Debbie, who, Debbie was at the same time that Brian worked for my parents. She worked for my parents in Minnesota. She came when I was like 6. So I've known her that long. If I didn't have Debbie in that crew, I would be lost. I mean, there's days when she sends me messages of all the things that I have to do that day, and that's what I tell
It's
myself.
like
She's
we
my
need
boss.
we need this,
Yes.
this, and that. That's
Some
what
days I
happened
feel
to
like
me
I work for
with
her.
that.
And I tell all of my, it's one thing to piss me off. If you piss Debbie off and then I have to hear it from Debbie, you better just start packing, because the last person I want unhappy on this ranch is Debbie.
It's Debbie.
The very last person. Because she is such a huge part of our program and everybody making sure they get from point A to point B. And she wants, talk about somebody that wants you to win and wants you to do good. She puts her heart and soul into all of our non-pros,
Yeah, she does.
into my horses.
But it's so important to have that. I mean, and of course, I mean, Debbie, it's years and years. But I can tell you that there are a lot of young guys that they really want to learn a program. I mean, I can tell that there are like right now, Gani, he has Abba that work for him, and I can tell how. I mean, the way that she work for Gani and the way that she ride, and then she's a hard worker, but you can tell when they get the program and we are in the program. You know what I mean? We're very lucky. We have this girl, Summer. She's working for Miriam now 4 years, and she.
I think he stole her from us.
No, she had an internship
I think
with.
he has.
No, that's
I'm
not
not
true.
sure how that went down. That was
No,
legit.
it was an internship.
Ooh. That was above board or not, we won't go there, but.
Anyway, now it's 4 years, and I mean, she knows the program.
Yeah.
I mean, she knows what Miriam wants, and I think that in general for a trainer, this is so important, you know. And you can tell, I can name people, and you know, there is this Italian guy, Eric, that worked for Andrea.
Mhm.
You can tell, just look at the warm-up arena, you know, the way that is dedicated to Andrea and the way that is right, you can tell, you know. I mean, of course with Kate and Tom is different because they're father and son, but still, you
Yeah.
know, you can really look at the whole
Yeah.
picture. And then Kate had team too, so it was
Yeah.
a family situation. But if you are sitting there watching, and I'm watching a lot of the shows, I mean, you can really tell the guy that are there not just for put another hat with another logo, that it's awesome for just teaching.
It's very important to have
It's
that.
very,
With the
very
logo,
important.
But you know, they really believe in the program, and,
Yeah.
and they really, you know.
Yeah. The other thing that, and it seems like a little thing
Yeah.
now, or from the outside, but when you have the one person, we have a couple of girls in the barn that have worked there for several years, and they know us inside and out. They know the programs, they know everything that's going on, and they know all Tom's little intricacies when he's at the gate. If he has the proper hairspray, you know, the proper hairspray is very important. He had a whole entire article done on him in a magazine about the proper hairspray. And if you go to the gate with the improper hairspray for Tom, it's not okay. Like
And
it's
the
touch
water.
and go if
And
he's
the bottle
going
of
to
water.
walk into the bottle of water,
A bottle of water.
the white can of
The
hairspray.
water.
Touch and
Yes.
go if we're gonna be able to
Bottle of
go in the
water.
ring or not.
He needs a sip of water.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he does.
I need
for
it.
sure.
I think I learned this one for Tom. I can go in the tent without a sip of water, and they know.
Yeah.
Miriam knows, and now Summer
Yeah.
knows, and no matter what, give me some water. And if you don't have a bottle, well, find one, whatever it is.
Oh no, you can't find a bottle of water from Tom. It has to be a bottle of water that has not been
That
opened.
opened.
Oh well, I'm
I
not
mean,
that
because
picky.
you
then.
know
I'm not
he's
that
not
picky.
drinking it.
Yeah, I'm not that picky.
Oh yeah, you're gonna get the COVID.
So, so I have a question for you guys. So, being married to a trainer, and I have a love-hate relationship with social media sometimes. Love it for certain situations,
Yeah.
don't for others. How do you guys feel when you see something on there about your husbands or your kid or you know, somebody of non-pro that or is in your barn, or how do you guys handle that?
Well, I used to get like real mad, real angry, and get all fired up about it. And I used to think, these people have no clue. They don't know, which is still true. I still feel that way. They don't really have a clue about really what's happening on the inside.
True, because a lot of
or
the people
what-
that comment or post
Yeah,
on there
they're-
aren't in,
They have no.
they're in the
clue about
horses,
what's
but they're
going on.
not
Yeah,
in,
but they're not- yeah.
yeah, I
They
agree.
have no clue about what's going on. But I've learned through Tom, and Andrea Hikes actually years ago told me one time, these people, if they're writing about you, they're thinking about you all the time. Do you even know who that person is? Are you thinking about them? Oh, no. Well, so Tom said we should take it as a compliment. You know, they're looking up to us
Well,
and they're wanting to know what we're
yeah.
doing, and I've had to learn to do it that way because otherwise I'd be so mad, you know? I just don't. There's so many people out there that comment about what we do and how we run things and that it's not fair because we have this advantage because we don't have to pay for this or that. Well, like you and I have talked, we pay for the entire truckload of shavings that come in and the entire load of hay that comes in and the rig and, you know, like, it's not free for us. The horses still eat and drink, you
Yeah.
know, and so.
And I think actually, like, and I don't know about you guys, but I think that when you go to the show, sometimes the thing that people don't understand, I think sometimes we're the last ones to get help. Because,
oh, yeah, no, that's for sure.
because, you know,
Yeah.
or, and I think I get a little frustrated, and maybe you can
So, yeah.
touch on that too, as far as how do you feel when the social media comes out to you? Because you've been a highlight
I
of,
see this situation under two different point of view. Probably Mandy can, under, you know, the sport, and so all the discussion, great discussion that we had in the non-pro committee, and move on with the amateur division, where we had people that were not comfortable to show with certain type of people in our industry, with youth and with trainer spouse. Well, this is a very good discussion that we had, because this one, it's around the sport, you know, and this is the main point about our industry at the end of the day. What I really like to move on and see, now we're gonna see, I hope soon, because Cactus was supposed to be the first amateur division, and then of course it didn't happen, but we'll see how everything was gonna develop. But I like that situation because it's a discussion that you can have about the sport. So now we have all the youth discussion in our committee, but what I don't really like is what you're talking about, like the thought that people has that we are just fortunate, or we don't
Have
pay
an
the whole,
advantage.
yeah, we have an advantage, or we don't pay the whole of our horses because the trailer go there, and the trailer, well, you
It's not
pay,
free.
it's your truck and it's your trailer, you know, and then
And you know, the thing is,
you know, I
especially
don't-
my family over the years,
yeah.
we've given back as much money in the years. My parents started horse shows that cost
Yeah.
them money to have for
Yeah,
several years,
yeah,
you know? They don't think about the big picture about what we also give back to the industry.
Exactly,
And we give back more than
yeah.
anybody else too.
And honestly, now we are, you know, 3 people at this table, and this is very, very nice. But
But we know
behind
everything, right?
us, yeah, behind us, I really, really can tell everybody that there are a lot of most are the wife, okay, husband we're not a lot, but a lot of wife that they work so hard and they're so dedicated to the husband, like wife are dedicated with the husband in every business.
Yeah.
You know, I can tell my experience. My dad is a heart surgeon and he's 72 and is still active. In the dedication of my mom for my dad, their whole life, he was never at dinner with us,
Yeah.
and she's still there
care of
together,
everything.
and they're in love, and this is the dedication that you put behind the job of your husband. You know, I mean,
well, I think
it's-
certain jobs take certain things. Like you said, your dad's a heart surgeon. I think touching on our industry, we don't have 9 to 5 jobs, a Monday through Friday.
Exactly.
We don't, I mean,
Exactly.
if some of those people really lived our lifestyles, it's great, but sometimes I like to call us a carnival. We're just better dressed. I mean, we go from
Well,
show to
some
show. Well, you know, yeah, you're not looking so good today. But, yeah, I just think if some people were able to experience the, showing the horses on Sundays and people knocking on your door, the phone calls at 10 at night, or the,
Yes, but every other job are complicated, but this is not less complicated for the spouse, to sustain and to help your husband in the job, in a job that, the point is it's around an animal. An animal, unfortunately, they don't have, you shut the door and they're fine. If they colic at midnight, you need to run.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You
never shut down.
No, I'm with you that sometimes, but I always try to be very, very positive. I really also about the discussion about trainer spouse and everything else. Be a trainer spouse, it's not easy. In a different way, also in a way that people can think that we have some positive, but it's not, because our horses, especially at the show, so our horses are always the last horses, and then unless it's not the night before the final when I go
Unless
to Miriam
your
and say,
horse is really good like yours was last year and she's trying to steal it. Because I remember there was a point in there like that.
yeah,
I think there was a little like,
yeah, but
maybe I should show it.
yeah, but that's happened very often. Because, but yeah, I always think positive. So the criticism is always around everything, and
I just ignore it.
but-
Basically, I
but
ignore it.
the main point is that there are so many wives that I know, and I can name it here. Like I can give you 30, 40 names
Yeah.
of beautiful ladies that are really, really committed to their husband trainers and help the family
for
and
sure.
work hard.
Yeah. And you and Gotch. You and Greg Gottschalk.
We try.
We try.
We
Do the
try
best we
hard.
can. So I feel like that was long enough. If this goes well, we did this without anybody knowing, we thought, until I think we just got busted.
Yeah, I think
because
we got busted
we
a
didn't
little.
know really if they want to know our side. So if you want to know more of our side of the story, and if you really want to meet Megan Schmidt, let us know. Ask all the questions you want, and we'll try to give you the truth about what it's like to be married to a horse trainer.